Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia and welcome back to the Overwatch Transfer Roundup. So we're going to get straight on with this one because we've actually got quite a bit to get through. So we start off with the Chinese support B612, who was at Light Gaming. He is now retired from competitive Overwatch and will no longer be competing at the competitive level. There are a few retirements in this one, so do be prepared for that. But next up we have Doggo, the Danish support. He was at Revival, he has now left Revival and he will be cropping up again in a minute. I am rather surprised at the moves that Doggo has made this week. Also, the American DPS Carter has retired from Third Impact and will no longer be playing competitive Overwatch. Moving to the Pacific then, and the manager of the Far East Society, Catty, is going to move over and be a manager of not only Far East Society but also Paradigm Shift in the Australian region of Contenders, so we wish all the best there. And then back in Europe, we see that the Danish DPS player Naga has moved from the Angry Titans to Exoblivione in Contenders, although Angry Titans are actually in Open Division at the moment. And then we have some movements at Niriki eSports. Niriki have pulled out of Contenders, so yes, another casualty has befallen Tier 2, and it isn't the only casualty in this video of teams. Europe has not had a good week, and yeah, it kind of casts a shadow over that Echo tournament. It's a real shame to see some of these people leaving, but Niriki eSports people will be leaving. It is the French the two French tank players, Chubbs and Tech36. Chubbs will be retiring. Hybrid, the DPS player from Great Britain, he is now unassigned. And the Swedish manager and coach, Tyler and Almost Panda, they are both leaving and are now unassigned as well. So I hope those players can find some teams, especially Tech36. Tech36 is a really good player, and I hope he really does find a team because he did really well for that French squad not so long ago. But now we move over to Korea, to GC Busan Wave, where there has been a bunch of acquisitions over there. So the first clump we're going to talk about is GC Busan Wave signing a bunch of players from looking for sponsor in Korea. This is the two DPS players, Anami and Vulture, the tank player Utah, and the two support players Vipik and Peisul. So they will be now rolling out for GC Busan Wave. And GC Busan Wave have had to take part in Open Division, and I believe they have now got through that and will be taking part in Contenders Trials, and I'm sure they are hoping to do better than they did last time. But they've also signed a bunch of unassigned people, so this is two coaches, Jinwoo and Zinc. Yes, Jinwoo, not Jinmoo. Jinwoo. Two managers, Ileana and No Heal. And then two players, this is the tank Judy and the DPS A1M. They will all be now part of the new look GC Busan Wave roster. And that is good to see, because when I saw GC Busan Wave get rid of all their roster, I was worried that we weren't going to see GC Busan Wave anymore. So it's good to see that some people are going to keep going in Contenders. But we move back to Europe now, and Ex-Oblivione, where the Polish tank Mezik has been let go. He will be now retiring from Overwatch and will no longer be on the competitive scene. So we wish them all the best for the future. In NA, we see some moves at the Uprising Academy. Well, the Uprising Academy needs to make some moves. Their main team needs to make some moves as well. Anyway, moving on, and we have Fat, who is retiring from that Uprising Academy team. He will no longer be playing competitive Overwatch, and Scalar, the Danish support, has been let go from that Uprising Academy team as well. So they needed two new supports, and their two new supports will be 6 Feet, the Canadian support, and Doggo, that Danish support we mentioned had left Revival. The interesting thing is, I am very surprised that Doggo has left Revival for Uprising Academy. It's not a move perhaps I would have thought of, but then again, I don't know the whole story, so let's not make accusations here. Anyway, moving on, and we have some moves at the Shanghai Dragons. We got two new coaches at the Shanghai Dragons, and if it's anything to go by this weekend, boy oh boy, have the Shanghai Dragons got some talent. Anyway, they have signed two coaches. This is Kong. So Kong actually has been at the Shanghai Dragons before. Kong was a coach for the Shanghai Dragons during their 0-40 season. But I wouldn't look too much into that because Fearless was part of the 0-40 season for the Shanghai Dragons. And, well, look at him this weekend. So, yeah, improvements made at the Shanghai Dragons, but they've also got another coach. This is Quartermain. You may remember him from the London Spitfire last year. He is now a coach at the Shanghai Dragons. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. That caught me off guard. Quartermain, he was a decent player for London and just kind of hasn't been around since leaving London, and now he's at the Shanghai Dragons as a coach. And I'm sure he will want to try and get a League Winners medal there, because he didn't get one with London because he came in after they'd won the league. So, yeah, interesting times at the Shanghai Dragons. But staying with the Chinese theme, and we move over to Universe Thinker in China, Chinese Contenders now, because they got through Open Division, where we see the Chinese DPS player Raisuto leaving Universe Thinker and retiring from Overwatch. That's actually really sad to see, considering, you know, Universe Thinker have just got into Contenders, but I'm sure there's a reason for it, and we wish him all the best for the future. And then we see two acquisitions in Korea at Top Honor. Top Honor have been doing very well in Korean Contenders, to a lot of people's surprise, I would think. But this is, first of all, the DPS player from Korea, Delight. He was unassigned previous to this, but he is now at Top Honor, and we wish him all the best. But also, Top Honor have signed a bit of experience. This is the tank player from Light Gaming, Zephyr. So you will probably remember Zephyr from the Florida Mayhem. I mean, that wasn't glorious times for the Florida Mayhem, but he was a decent off-tank player, and I'm sure he will do great at Top Honor, and he'll offer some great experience at that team, which doesn't have a massive amount of experience. But Top Honor really are a breakthrough team in this contender season, and we'll see where they go from here. But also in Korea, we have the DPS player Poise, who is leaving Meta Athena and moving on to Pastors New. He is going to be unassigned, but we wish him all the best for the future. And to replace him, they have brought in Alpha Yi, who will be rolling out on that DPS for Meta Athena now, and we'll see how they do from there. But moving on, and we have some retirements to go through. This is the French coach Izzy of the HSL eSports. Not nice to see another retirement, but it is what it is. And also, Scalar, who was let go from the Uprising Academy, has also retired as well after being unassigned. And that's kind of where it goes at the moment. You're always worried if someone goes unassigned that they will be retiring not very far down the line, and that's what's happened here. But moving on, and Notting Contenders have let two players go. This is their two supports, Eclipse and Refid. They will no longer be playing for Notting Contenders. Angry Titans have let three players go. This is the two tank players, White Noise and Brute from the United Kingdom, and the Irish DPS player Grathan. I think Grathan was only just promoted to the Angry Titans from their academy team, Olympians, wasn't he? So that's a bit weird. But Olympians, talking of them, have also let go of their Irish tank player Liam. Square One have let go of their Dutch tank player Seni. There's a lot of people being let go. These are all unassigned. But now we get to talk about some acquisitions. This is Paradigm Shift, who have acquired the French coach Kanaki, the Australian support player Don, and the tank player Sakok from Singapore. So they will all be now rolling out for Paradigm Shift, and in turn they have let go of the Korean support player Asti, who will no longer be rolling out for Paradigm Shift. So there have been a few movements about Paradigm Shift this video. Light Gaming have had to replace Zephyr, obviously, so they have brought in VK, who was unassigned previous to that, and we'll see how well he does. Water, the Korean DPS player, you may have heard of him, he's very talented, was unassigned after leaving. I can't remember which team he left. Was it Global Esports, back alongside Kefri? He has been unassigned for a little while, and he will now be retiring from Overwatch. That is really unfortunate to see, but again, it's not unprecedented in these times, is it? That's all I'm going to say. So, time for a movement and Element Mystic in Korea. This is their support player Unique being let go. I'm rather surprised at this. There's no mention of any military service. He's now a free agent, apparently. It's rather surprising. I don't think he was that bad of a player, and could be quite a valuable pickup to quite a few teams. So I'm sure there'll be people keeping an eye on him. But there have been major movements at HSL eSports in Europe, so let's talk about that now. This is them letting go of 4 players initially. This is Trispear, Dollar, Henginson, and RCK, the 2 tank players and the 2 support players. Again, this seems like a clear out at HSL eSports, which is mildly worrying. I hate it when teams basically completely clear out their entire rosters, because also we've got Zeal, the DPS player, and Aplox, the coach, and the DPS player Fupson leaving as well, but Fupson has actually retired instead of being unassigned. I worry when teams clear out like this because sometimes it can lead to a disbandment. No indication of that. And again, if we were to see the current holders of contenders in Europe basically disband, that would be rather worrying, especially as it's representative of Italian esports as well, which is really, really nice. But no word on any acquisitions at HSL, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Moving on then, and the manager of Olympians, Russell, the Dutch manager, has left the team and will be retiring from Overwatch. The tank player, the Australian tank player Mini, has also retired after being unassigned. Get Amazed, the French coach of Third Impact, has left and he is now unassigned. Also, the DPS player, the Chinese DPS player Keto from Phantom Wizard, has also left the team and has retired. I told you there were a few retirements in this one, didn't I? Moving on now, we have a move at the Boston Uprising. This is them letting go of their assistant coach Ilka. So, yeah, I mean, it's a first step, I suppose, Boston. I mean, there's some more changes needed, I'm not gonna lie. They are not having the best time of it in the Overwatch League right now, and I would hope to see much more drastic changes coming in the future. But movement at Phase 2 now, who are competing in NA Open Division, hoping to get a better result than last time because they did get through Open Division but have really not turned up in Contenders Trials at all, and they're hoping to improve on that. So this is the coach Empress, who is actually a coach at Shoes Minicrew EU. That will now be a dual role with Shoes Minicrew EU and Phase 2 in the two different regions. And then they assigned a roster, so this is, I love this name by the way, Blob Blob Blob. This is the American support player alongside the American support player Lip. Blob Blob Blob, I love that name, that's a fantastic name. Fosman X and Matman 909, the two tank players, and 3 DPS players have been signed, all American, Maxwell, Disnasty, and Amadian. They will all be signing up with Phase 2 to compete in this current Open Division, and hopefully for them, the Contenders Trials and Contenders Season for weeks 3 and 4, and going on forward from that if they can get any results. But I have to give it to Blob Blob Blob. I think we have found the best name in Tier 2 of all Overwatch. So congratulations to Blob Blob Blob. Moving on though, and we have a retirement. This is the Danish support player Huni, who was currently unassigned, has retired. And now I have some very sad news and actually surprising news. It caught me off guard just before I was actually creating this video. So this is the disbandment of the Eternal Academy. So the Eternal Academy disbanded once before. They came back and actually have looked really good. I believe they were in 5th place in Contenders. So on the points right now. So this is actually a major disbandment in EU. I did say it has been a bad week for EU, and this is kind of the pinnacle of that. So obviously this means we get a lot of unassigned players. Ding and CQB, their support players. Muse and Hafikul. Poor Hafikul. I mean, is that player ever going to get a break? I've thought Hafikul could deserve a place in the league. Like, Boston, pick up Hafikul. Do it now. But the 2 tank players are obviously unassigned, and then the 3 DPS players, Urki, Suna, and Patafan, have all been unassigned because of the disbandment of Eternal Academy. It's kind of come out of the blue. I really thought Eternal Academy were here to stay, considering they had improved so much on their previous showing in Contenders Europe. And that now leaves us with only 5 Overwatch League Academy teams worldwide. That is 1 in Europe, British Hurricane, 1 in NA, which is Team Envy, which used to be dominated by Overwatch League Academy teams. Remember Gladiators Legion, Mayhem Academy, and all that. Oh no, I'm forgetting Uprising Academy. Sorry, Uprising Academy. Yeah, sorry. But there's 2, so that's 6 then. And then 2 in China. This is Bilibili Gaming, the Academy of Hangzhou Spark, and the Team CC, which is the Academy of Shanghai Dragons, and obviously Genji in Korea, which is the Academy of Seoul Dynasty. And it's sad to see another team bite the dust, really. I got very caught off guard by this announcement. There's nothing on the the Eternal Academy Twitter. It's come from Suna's Twitter, announcing that he was unassigned. So I don't know what's going on at Eternal Academy, whether it's because of the times we're living in or something, but not nice to see. But lastly, we have Miski, the American coach of We Got Dropped. Ironically, he is now no longer going to be in a competitive Overwatch because he is retiring. So he got dropped. But that kind of rounds us out for this transfer roundup. It's not been a particularly great one, I'm not going to lie. It's been a lot of retirements, a lot of unassigned players, not a lot of people signing people, and then we've got the disbandment of not only Nariki eSports in Europe, but also Eternal Academy on the back of losing last week Clockwork Vendetta. So yeah, it's some tough times in Europe that NA have just gone through, and now it's kind of seeping over the waters slightly, and it's very disappointing to see, but hopefully sometime in the future it will improve. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like to give a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.